Okay, I guess I guess we're live. All right, I'll take these off. Is this what we want? By that I mean, is this the new normal? Is as far as we're wearing masks all the time away from each other? I mean, think about it. How long is this going to go on? Is this really what we want? Are we all going to at some point say, "Okay, that was pretty good. We're done. We had our little fun pretending that there was a pandemic." I don't know. Hopefully, this is gonna end and then we're back to normal, quote unquote normal, where we have no rights. Hold on, let me get some pillows. Get back to where we have our usual no rights instead of even less rights where we're at now. Yeah, so I went to the I've been going to the grocery store here and there, whatever. I don't want to like bore you with that stuff, but it's been such that if you didn't have a mask, they wouldn't enforce the rule. There's a rule you're supposed to wear a mask in the store, at least in the grocery store. My local store here, you don't have to wear a mask. I don't get it. It's even smaller, small store. They only allow 5 customers in at a time, but you don't have to wear a mask. But at the grocery store, you have to. So this time they were enforcing it because they were providing the masks. And so this time, sometimes I show up with a mask, sometimes I don't. This time I didn't, and they happen to be providing masks. So I was like, it's like the guy was like, "Okay, you're gonna need a mask." I'm like, "I'd rather not." And he's like, "Well, you're gonna have to go in the store and blah blah blah." So, all right, here's your mask. Okay, how does it work? And he didn't know, and whatever. So we figured it out together. It was one of the blue ones that it's just blue ones that it's just paper or something, and that hook around your ears. That one was fantastic. I mean, because you could breathe great because it's not filtering anything. It's just going. It's all the air is coming in the big giant gaps right here, and the big giant get wherever the big gaps are. So it's not filtering anything. It's not saving my life. I know that, but probably someone else's because I'm just a bag of germs apparently. But so that was. I like that mask. Get one of them if you can. Hooks around the ears. I said. Did I say that? Yeah. So yeah, and then boy, just before the Corona thing, uh, I decided to get my. I had a tooth that needed refilling. The filling had cracked years ago, and it was starting to get sensitive to cold. And so I called up my dentist and I said, "Okay, let's get this thing filled." And they gave me 3 weeks out, an appointment 3 weeks out. I'm like, seriously? All right, but whatever. And then the day before the appointment, they called me up and said, "Oh, sorry, Corona says no." Oh, are you serious? Oh my God. So that sucked. And then said, "But if it's an emergency, give us a call." Yeah, if it's an emergency, give us a call. So I'm figuring, well, I'll be a good guy and put it off until whatever this crap is. Whatever this crap is over. But no, eventually, I got some temporary dental stuff. You can fill it. I don't know. I must have done it with dirty fingers or something. Because like the second time I put it in, my jaw got infected, and there goes the root. So yeah, now my jaw is infected. And if you ever get an infection, like a bacterial infection, I ended up taking stinging nettle root extract. I would hold up the jar, but whatever. Stinging nettle. Took it out just like that. Eventually I was at my wit's end and I just had that laying around. I was like, "Oh, I'll try this," and cleared it right up. I had a big knob on my jaw. I say big, but about the size of a dime. But you could see it, and yeah, stinging nettle root took that infection right away and cleared it right up. It was amazing. And so yeah, and then I could never get a hold of that same dentist again. he wouldn't answer the phone anymore, and so I had to wait until uh, all the other dentists were allowed to open, and I got a new dentist. So they did a root canal that cost $1,500, and the cap they're going to put on is another 50. It's going to be $3,000. It would have just been a filling, but because of the coronavirus, I'm out 3,000. I get a new dentist. Hopefully that works out too. Yeah, this is my warning to you. If the shit's going to hit the fan, get your dental work out of the way. Or if monetary system's going to crash, and the dollar's going to be worthless in 5 minutes, coming right up, blow your wad on your dental work. That's what I say. That's a good move. So yeah, I don't care how much it costs. I want to get all this stuff in here rock solid. So no matter what happens, I don't have to worry about that. You know, shit hits the fan, you don't want a toothache. Uh, Maybe even stock up on that temp dent. I was lucky to find it. I knew they had it at the grocery store, but it's just hard to find. I eventually found it. Thank God I did. Yeah, and stock up on things like antifungal cream if you get athlete's foot or whatever. You know, what happens if you don't have that? I think we should all be stocking up. I know, whatever. I don't want to. I'm not like the guy who's saying, the end is coming next Friday. But I don't think things are going to ease up as far as product availability. So whenever I can, I buy flour, and if I can, I'll find some yeast here or there. I can't find the big jars, just the little packets, but whatever. Packets are good. That'll work. I can make two pizzas with one packet. About so that's pretty cool. Buy those giant sticks of pepperoni. The ones Bridgeford, I believe. Are pretty good. And you don't have to refrigerate it. Whatever, stock up on that shit. All right, so now to the news. Hopefully, uh, I've got decent internet here, and it's not going to end in 5 minutes. What? I don't know. Do I need to turn this up? Can I turn this up? I don't know if you can hear me. Hello. There's like one green dot. Don't do nothing. What does this do? Oop, that's muted it. That's not good. Okay, the news. Looks like they arrested Gislane Maxwell. That's Jeffrey Epstein's girl finder slash girlfriend. Yeah. Apparently, she's been hanging out in New Hampshire. I heard she was in Paris. So maybe she was in Paris and then she slid back to the States. Why would she do that? I don't know. Unless, some people speculate that she's already cut a deal with the authorities to, whatever the deal is. She's going to give up so many people or whatever it is. I don't know. The hell do I know? That's the speculation. But the weird thing is, well, supposedly they've been watching her for, I don't know, however long she's been in New Hampshire. It could be weeks or maybe a month or two. I don't know. So they just been watching her. I think they probably got a deal with her that she's gonna get off light or whatever to give up whoever. I don't know who else there would be involved in this, but apparently she would know, right? Anyway, Gislane Maxwell, daughter of some tabloid tycoon in England. That guy died strangely on his yacht. There's this Jewish fellow that said, I guess he was a journalist, worked with Maxwell, and he said that they were both, and Epstein is too, working for the Mossad, the Israeli Secret Service deal, to get compromise leaders from around the world. Oh, you got on my airplane, and I get pictures of you, and that may be true to an extent, but I wouldn't think it's true like with Bill Clinton. All right, Bill Clinton's not a moron. I think there's a certain level of hierarchy where you don't touch them. They're in the club, they're solid. Bill Clinton's worked hand in glove with Israel, so they're not gonna shit on him. So I believe some of these people are safe. They're rock solid in the club, and anybody they were trying to entrap was somebody on the fringes, and you know, not in league with whatever this club is that I keep talking about. So I don't think that was Jeffrey Epstein's main job. I would suggest to you that his main job is to get young girls and whatever for the elite scumbags of the planet just to have fun with. That's what I think his main job was. Yeah, did he entrap some people? Maybe. So I don't think they killed him because he had all this information. I don't even think they killed him. That's my opinion, but maybe they did. But the last thing that would happen is he commit suicide. That's impossible. So I don't believe that happened for a second. Either they arranged for him to make his escape back to Israel or wherever he goes. I don't know. Or they just killed him. I don't rule out the possibility that the club kills its members if you become a liability. They probably enter into this club with the understanding that you're going to have it great for a while. You're dancing with the devil. Maybe it's going to be awesome for a while, but then we could just cut you off at the knees if we need to, and that's maybe the bargain that they make. I don't know, but I personally think he's free somewhere. But anyway, so the weird thing with this case with Gislane, you could say Gislane or Gislane, but apparently it's pronounced Gislane. That sounds better to me. The weird thing was with Bob Barr, which I didn't realize this. Bob Barr's father, the Attorney General Bob Barr, our current Attorney General, his father was Jeffrey Epstein's teacher. What a small world. And Bob Barr's father got Jeffrey Epstein his first job in finance. Apparently he was like a math whiz or something, so into finance he goes. But yeah, so that sounds like everything club. Like this is all club material. Like, so and so knows this guy, blah blah blah, and then they get vetted, and okay, you're in, and then and then all kinds of money comes to you. Bruce people just hand money to Jeffrey Epstein. He eventually started his own hedge fund, and they just hand him money that he's in charge of their money. I just don't. I think it was more like, okay, we're in this club, and we all got to pitch in for Fantasy Island, and that's. I think it's more like that. Plus, he probably got like money from Israel, straight from Israel. The United States gives Israel money, and then who knows what they do with it. Sometimes they buy our weapons, but sometimes they start skeevy businesses all over the globe, just like the CIA does. So, all right, I slid past my point. My point was that Bob Barr, he has this connection with Epstein. Bob Barr, for some reason, wanted to get the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York out of the way. and they're the people. This is the guy, Jeffrey Berman. He's the guy handling the Gislane Maxwell case. For some reason, Bob Barr wanted him out of the way, so Bob Barr wanted to bump him upstairs to the SCC, and Berman said, "I don't want to do that." And Barr said, "Well, I'm going to get Trump to fire you then," and he did. That's what I've heard. That's the latest I've heard, is that he got Trump to fire him a week or so ago. And then they slid in a deputy attorney, a U.S. attorney, Strauss, a woman, to handle the case. But so it looks a little skeevy there. Why? I'm not sure why they wanted to fire this guy or move him out of the way. Some Trump supporters say that that Berman was dragging his feet on the case. So I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe that's exactly what was happening. I don't know. Or maybe they want this particular deal and Berman didn't want it. Maybe Barr made the deal and Berman said no, and then you're out. So maybe there's this deal coming for Gislane Maxwell. But I'm thinking all the shenanigans right there. I mean, you got the Democrats that went ballistic over Russiagate. They went insane over a huge nothing burger. There was nothing there. They knew it from the start. They literally knew it. And they dragged it out for a couple of years. I mean, seriously? Over nothing. Now this looks like something. Because Trump knew Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years. At some point, he did an interview. It was written, I guess, so it wasn't like he was speaking. He said, "I've known Jeffrey Epstein for 15 years. He's a stand-up guy, blah blah blah," and yeah. But then nowadays, guess what he says? "We had a falling out 15 years ago. He's not my kind of guy. Not a good guy. What's with the 15? I don't know. It probably doesn't mean anything, but maybe that's just a number in Trump's head all the time. 15. I love 15-year-olds. I don't know. That's kind of odd that he used the same number again. We've been broken up for 15 years. We were good friends for 15. Now we're broken up for 15. But yeah, and who knows whether all that, the big breakup where he says, you don't come back to this hotel ever again or whatever. That could just be bullshit. It's something they just tell us. Who knows? I don't know. We're never going to know, probably. But my point is, if the Democrats can lose their shit over Russiagate, a big nothing, what about all the shenanigans just before they arrest Gislane Maxwell? Where is Adam Schiff on this? Is he going to lose his shit again? I mean, we're coming up on the election. If I were them, if I was Trump and all of them, I would say, don't arrest her until after the election. Let's get the election out of the way. Don't try to be a hero before the election. Don't do it. I don't know. Maybe you can pull it off and be a hero and, bust a bunch of people for being pedos or whatever they are. It seems kind of risky to me and surprising. But like I said in previous videos, I am skeptical that he actually even wants to be president a second time. I think it might have been in the cards from the start that he was going to get one term. But keep in mind, every time I've said this about a president, I have been wrong. Every time. So, not a good track record. Oh, he's going to be a one-term president. George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. Wrong. So I could be wrong again. The elite love controversy, and Donald Trump is chock-a-block full of controversy. We got the Black Lives Matter out there, hunting heads. So maybe maybe they want to go another round with Trump. I don't know. The other question I have, like, yeah, so if it gets crazy, maybe he'll step down. Like, if they just bring up some stuff, about him and Epstein, and they just won't stop harping on it, he may say, Donald Trump may say, okay, this is just too much. I got to step aside and let somebody else run who's not so controversial. And maybe we'll get, another conservative in, and maybe even get 2 terms out of him. So that'd be 3 terms in a row. Maybe that will be his talking points on that. I don't know. And then when it comes to Joe Biden, I'm still not sure he's going to make it all the way to past the Democratic convention. I mean, they might swing somebody else like Bloomberg in there or whatever, because he's not looking good. He's got to do everything scripted. His commercials. He made one commercial where he didn't fuck up the words. Can't speak right. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't want to say it's an act, but you almost hope it's an act because it's just not good. And then, or maybe the idea is to get him in there, and then he keels over, and then whatever woman he selected for a vice president becomes ta-da president, and then you get first female president. So who do you want to be the first female president? This might be the occasion where we get it. Donald Trump says sayonara, or he can't win anyway because everybody's all up in arms. And Joe Biden ekes out a victory. By ekes out, I mean he just barely makes it through the election before he keels over, and then we get whoever it is. Is it Kamala Harris? Ugh. I don't know. Pocahontas? None of those ladies that ran, I was interested in at all. I don't know. Who do you want it to be? If it was going to be a Democrat, I would say Cynthia McKinney. She's a Democrat. She's black, and apparently she's a female. So she's ticking all the boxes. But of course, Joe's not gonna. It's not gonna select her. She's been out of politics for a while. She stood up to the Israeli lobby, and yeah, so probably not. Not gonna be her. That's too bad. There's probably some women out there that I would go for. Who's that blonde Republican pundit? I'd go for her. What's her name? She's got the long blonde hair. She writes books. I don't know. I can't think of her name. I'd go for her. I'd rather have Peter Schiff though. I'd vote for Peter Schiff in a heartbeat. He knows exactly what this country needs. He needs to trim the federal government right down to the bone, right? Get people doing real jobs, producing real things instead of shuffling papers around. However that works out, I don't know, but that's what he wants to. That's what he thinks should happen. That's what I think should happen too. The only reason they have this giant bloated government is because they can't find real jobs for people. So they either stick them in the military, or they stick them in government, or they stick them on unemployment or welfare or whatever else they can find. Somehow we got to get jobs going again. Trump was supposed to do that for us, but I don't really see it happening. But I don't want to shit on Trump right now because everybody loves him. I think he's just floating through office, just saying that he's taking credit for things that are happening. The one thing he did do was give people confidence in the markets, confidence in the economy, even though it's unfounded. He did it. So yeah, he did do that. There was nothing of substance. He just, you know, there was the tax cuts. I guess maybe that helped it. I don't know. Yeah. So who do you want for the next female president? Well, was probably going to be someone he was running against. I don't know how you could pick Camilla Harris after she basically stabbed him right in the face with all that. I was a schoolgirl and I got bused to school and blah blah blah. And if you, oh jeez. Although maybe you'd have to pick her anyways, just to say, "See, no hard feelings, ha! I can take it." I don't know. So is the economy gonna shit the bed here pretty soon? If we go through another round of Corona, actually, a lot of people are talking about that this is basically the start of the new global system, whatever that's going to be. Probably digital money, uh, where you know if you don't earn enough money, the government gives you the money, but the money that they give you will slowly erode in your account if you don't spend it. I don't know if that's the same for money that you earned. Hopefully, the money you earn doesn't erode in your account. It just keeps eating away. I could see the money that they give you because you don't want everybody just getting scads of money and then we're all millionaires and that means nothing because you still got to go to work. Somebody's still got to make stuff. So that just doesn't work. You can't just hand everybody $1 million. They'll still have to go to work because we still need goods and services. Like, who's going to fix my brakes on my car? We all doing it ourselves? Is it DIY? DIY? Is everything DIY? That'd be kind of interesting. Then everybody would have to know how to do everything. We'd all be a bunch of smart motherfuckers, though. That'd be kind of cool. I don't see that happening. So they're never just going to give you a hunk of money. They're coming close with this unemployment benefits, where you get, what is it, $600 more a week? That's even more than you can make on unemployment. The 600 is more. Why don't you just round up to 600 and call it good? I don't know. I don't know where they get off going overboard like that. Maybe because people in the Senate and the House are used to scads of money and we're not. Yeah, so that's not the answer. Oh, let me just slip in Bubba Wallace here. Hopefully this is still going. I don't know if it's still going. Looks like it. Bubba Wallace, NASCAR racer. I have nothing against Bubba Wallace. He's a half black guy. He looks like a buffalo. But anyways, that's not important. A couple weeks ago at Talladega Raceway, they found a noose in his pit's garage. Everybody gets a pit garage, and in his pit garage, they found a noose. It was tied into the door pull. Like you have a garage door with a rope that goes up to the door, and you pull the rope and it comes down. No, like apparently no automatic doors, whatever. That use a rope just so that they can have this instance, I guess. Maybe they'll get automatic doors now, and bring your own rope, I guess, if you want to make nooses. So they found a noose. And it was a pretty legit looking noose. It's not just like someone just tied a loop in the rope. It had all the swirls around and all that. Yeah, it was legit. But the problem with this noose was it wasn't meant for Bubba Wallace because it's been there since last October. So no one except probably NASCAR could have known that Bubba Wallace was going to be in that particular garage this coming, this year at the in the June race. No one but NASCAR could have known. So whoever tied it, assuming it wasn't NASCAR, had probably, you have to assume, no thoughts about Bubba Wallace. So it wasn't racial. And then speaking of racial, it's not only black guys that get hung by a noose. I mean, think about that. No one even mentioned that part. How many thousands of white people have been hung by a noose? So yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it. But I mean, think about it. It's not just black people. So what if I don't know, what if Jimmy Johnson was in, if that was his garage? White guy. Uh oh, you hate short people? Oh, he's not that short. What about Kyle Larson? He's shorter. I missed the controversy about Kyle Larson. He must have said something about black people and got suspended because somebody else is driving his car right now. Anyway, so the noose. Yeah, the noose had been around since last October, and in October there's the little thing called Halloween. So maybe on Halloween of last year, somebody just for shits and giggles tied a noose as a Halloween thing, and nobody noticed it until this year, 6 months later or whatever it was, 6, 7, 8 months, and now they notice it. The only one with a noose in it, and they didn't notice. Okay, whatever. And some just an aside, some people think, oh well, they tied a loop so that you could pull the door down. But the rope is so long that the nooses are right around your chest, so you'd have to reach down to grab the loop and push. So it's not like you reach up and grab it and pull it down. So that's not really a factor. That's not why somebody did that. They did it to make a noose. It's a noose, but the problem is it's about that big. It's about 5 inches across. Now a regular noose is like it's got to get over your head, so it's big with at least inch thick rope, But this is half-inch rope, like the size of your thumb. They just put it way back here, size of your thumb, really not thick. And but when you have it shrunk down like a noose this big, the half-inch rope, it makes it look thicker, especially when you zoom in, like ABC News did and NASCAR did. They zoomed in on the noose to make it look impressive. It looked like, oh yeah, that's a killer. That's a killer noose. But when you see it in video at the garage, it's just like this big. It's nothing. It's nothing to be scared of. You're not going to hang anybody with it. So that was disingenuous. ABC. I don't know who blew it up, who blew the photo up, but they made it look scary. And that's what the media does. And maybe NASCAR blew it up and sent them to ABC, but ABC, on there, a bunch of faggots. They'll do anything to incite violence and riots, and right. YouTube talks about me inciting hatred and violence. Taking my videos down, but I'm nothing compared to the media. I mean, look at the George Floyd thing. How many people get shot by cops every year? Like 500? More white people get shot than black people, but we're talking about a lot of people. And so they show like one or, they play up one or two stories, maybe three in the mainstream media. it's up to them when they do it. They don't have to do it. They never have to show one of these stories. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's up to them. So it's the timing is up to the people who run this country. I believe that the people who run this country run the media and they run our government. So they run all of that. So they select the timing. COVID-19 was running down. Maybe they want two problems in a row. Two problems piggybacking each other. We got the corona, and we got the pandemic, and we got the Black Lives Matter riots and everything. Um, so yeah, nothing is accidental. Just like the coronavirus wasn't accidental. They knew about it back in November. They did Event 201, where they get together and they say, "Well, what if there was a pandemic?" And they lay out exactly what's going to happen, and then magically, that's exactly what happens just months later. Yeah, and so the timing is up to them. I'm not saying that the incident, like with George Floyd, was made up. It could have been, but I'm not saying that. Maybe he really died and all that shit. And that's not cool, putting your knee on a guy's neck. I wonder if that was like in backlash for Colin Kaepernick, where he took the knee, Colin, the football player, the what is he, quarterback? Instead of putting your hand on your heart, he took a knee year or so ago, a couple years ago. Big trouble, blah blah blah, and now he's sought after because of Black Lives Matter is a thing. But maybe that was a backlash, and the cop, there's a black guy. Okay, you guys like taking a knee? Here's a knee on your throat. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Who knows? And apparently those two knew each other, so that's kind of skeevy. And apparently George Floyd was a violent criminal. But yeah, apparently he's a great guy now that he's dead. Violent criminal. Not all of his life, but here and there. So the media, powers that be, we need this story now. We want to start riots. COVID's kind of waning down, right in between the COVID going away and then coming back again. We'll have this Black Lives Matter shit, and maybe we'll slide a Democrat into office, and this country will be so fucking liberal. You're gonna lose your goddamn mind. Holy shit. Well, that's the agenda anyways, is to make everybody as liberal as possible. And by liberal, I mean dependent on the government. That's what liberals love, government. Republicans, like conservatives, they want less government in general. So what do the powers that be want? They want us dependent on government. They want us waiting for the money to come from the government to put into our account and spend before it gets eroded. That's what they want. They want us that, and they want us to be malleable to whatever news stories they want to throw our way. That's what they do with these news stories. They change our minds. Okay, it's not brainwashing, but it's more like you have this mindset, but they want this mindset. This is left. So the stories kind of steer you over the course of your life and over generations more easily to the left, where you're more and more dependent and less independent. And that's what they need. Compliance. They need compliance. That's where we're headed. And the media, like I said, they can pick whatever story they want to talk about. They don't have to talk about George Floyd if they don't want to. How many George Floyds have they skipped over? But now is the time. Now the time is right. So, is this what we want? Do we want to become more dependent on the government? Do we want to allow government to become bigger and bigger, to become our nanny? Do we want to be dependent on the money we want to go? That's something we need to think about. Even black people, white people, black people, Hindus, Muslims, whoever comes here, you got to think about it. Is that what you want? I don't want it. So we'll just call that good. This might be a million. This is either a million minutes long or they cut it off at 5. Okay, good day.